Fellow FPL managers, we are back with yet another failed game week on the FPL Bodderz channel. We are outside the top 150k with another red arrow, thanks to Chris Wood once again, and Boomo, a new enemy of mine, and Mohamed Salah, who I did not captain. My captain instead got 13 points, so it didn't really make much of a difference at all. You know, for a second I really thought I made differential player of the season, but Salah wanted to wait until the very last game of game week 26 to shatter my hopes and dreams, because that's the type of guy he is. Arsenal defence was a massive letdown playing home to West Ham. That was supposed to be 2 clean sheets, guys. They ended up losing 1-0. What a, bunch of knobheads. And then Kirkez just played away to Southampton, then home to Wolves. I thought that was going to be 2 clean sheets. He got me 3 points in total. There's not a whole lot of good going on here, guys. The team isn't doing too well. And I don't really know who I can blame this on, who I can really pinpoint out as the one main weakness of my team. We did have Emery on 8 points. Mateta got 5. That's the only really good stuff that happened. Trent got a clean sheet. Right now, FPL Bodderz is not doing too well, but I can assure you he will be back, because this next game week is looking very sweet for me. And every time I say that, I always get a red arrow. But guys, this time it's different. Trust me, okay? I promise. Now, I only have 1 free transfer to save whatever the hell is going on with this mess. So let's see what I'm doing with this team. Guys, first off, we need to talk about a certain, what do I say? Terrible football player in Ismaili Sarr. Now, for the record, I don't think this guy's terrible at football. I think he's actually pretty good. He's starting in this Crystal Palace side, which is winning loads and loads of games. So he can't be that bad. He just isn't getting me the FPL points. Since he joined my team in game week 19, guys, he has played 8 game weeks for me, and he has averaged under 3 points per game. Now, when I brought him in, the underlying data looked quite good. But as you can see here, guys, in his last 5 games, the numbers are very, very low. It's the complete opposite now. It's looking quite bad. If I was someone looking to bring in Ismaili Sarr, I would not even consider it. But I have him. And now the question is, do I sell this guy? Do I keep him? What's the best move for me? In those 5 games he played for me, 1.1 expected goals, 1.8 expected assists. He could have got something from that. Instead, he's only got 1 assist for me, and everything else is just blank, blank, blank. He used to be a 90-minute man as well, playing the full 90 of every game, but it's looking like he's a 60 to 70-minute man now, which is 20 minutes. I could be missing out on crucial goal involvement potential from Ismaili Sarr. So he's just gradually getting worse and worse, and I dislike him more and more each game week. But here's the thing, guys. In his next 2 game weeks, he plays home to Aston Villa and home to Ipswich. Now, if I sold Ismaili Sarr right now, before he played home to Aston Villa and home to Ipswich, I would be nothing but a fool in a man's shoes. I would be a simpleton. I wouldn't be good at the game, because Aston Villa's away defence, 17th for expected goals conceded. Ipswich's away defence, 20th for expected goals conceded. Guys, I simply cannot sell someone who's facing those defences. It would be disgraceful. I'd be disappointed in myself, especially if I sold Ismaili Sarr and he got some returns. That's what's really scaring me. And my best replacements for Ismaili Sarr would either be Eze or Semenyo. And, they're both similar to Ismaili Sarr. Eze in the fact he also starts for this Crystal Palace team, just on the other side. And Semenyo in the sense that he is also on not so good form. So realistically, all I can do is sit and hope. And as much as I want this guy gone from my team, as much as he pains me every single game week, I feel optimistic. I still have a lot of faith in Ismaili Sarr. I still think he's going to get me points. I don't know, guys. You can call me stupid. You can call me bad at the game. And you'd be right. But you never know. It could pay off. He could be the guy that gets me back into the top 100k. He could be on the verge of starting his redemption arc right this game week. Why would I be the one to miss out on that? Why would I not take full advantage of Ismaili Sarr differential points? So let's get into the team now, guys. Straight away, we see the double Arsenal defence does not have a good game, but I'm going to be honest, Arsenal just keep clean sheets in the most random of games. So while I don't expect a clean sheet, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept one, and I wouldn't be opposed to it either. I really want this Arsenal defence to clutch up for me. The next 6 games for them, it doesn't look insanely easy. I mean, I may use my wild card before the next 6 games even go ahead. I do like the look of these 2 players, okay? I hope in the next few weeks they can at least get me a couple clean sheets, especially in blank game week 29, if I don't use my free hit, they'll be playing home to Chelsea, and Chelsea are just awful at the moment, so there has to be a clean sheet there. For this game week specifically though, I'm not too sure. As you can see, Kirkez has been demoted to the bench because the guy means nothing to me. He is absolutely useless against the bad teams. Why would he do anything against the good teams? So instead, I brought in Mazraoui. Now, bringing in a Man United player is never a good idea, especially when they sit 15th in the table. But guys, they are home to Ipswich. They are home to Ipswich. I really hope they don't fumble this. I mean, they conceded home to Leicester and they conceded home to Southampton, so they ain't got a good track record playing home to these newly promoted teams, but hopefully this time they can actually do something. I mean, Mazraoui's a solid geezer. He used to have the sauce at the beginning of the season, really good player. He's been a bit disappointing recently, but there is literally no one else that can play ahead of him because of injuries, so I'm not worried about his minutes. I'm more worried about the fact Man United will probably concede 4 goals to Ipswich. Then finally we have Trent, guys. Trent, very high ownership. His points don't positively affect me too much, so I don't really care about Trent. But if he wants to get points, hey, I'll accept it with open arms. In midfield, guys, we have not gone differential with the captain this game week. I've, learned my lesson last game week. I didn't learn my lesson the hard way, but I definitely learned my lesson. I was kind of thinking about Captain Mateta for a little bit. Then after seeing Salah get 14 points away to Man City, I thought, you know what, maybe that would be a doofus move, so I didn't do it. I've got Salah captain. Then, as you can tell, I've kept Ismaili Sarr because I just like pain. I like hurting myself mentally owning this guy, so yeah, we've kept him in. I could play Kirkez above Ismaili Sarr, but I think that would rub salt in the wound even more if Sarr ends up getting points. You know, I'm that scared now. I'm that scared. He's gone so long without a return. It simply has to come soon. We have Palmer home to Southampton. I didn't even consider Palmer home to Southampton as captain, guys. I think it would be a stupid move with Chelsea's form. I think Palmer's going to be leaving my team soon to make room for Haaland, whether that's on a free hit or whether that's taking a hit and then saving my free hit for later. Palmer's not going to be here for very long. Then Kluivert, 7 points in the last 2. One of those games, his stupid teammate picked up a red card, so he was limited in that one. But hopefully this game he can really shine like he has been in the past. I mean, I don't expect like 15, 20 point games like he did get a little while ago because he's less than 6 million. But I do expect small returns here and there. He's a pretty good player and he's got penalties, and playing away to Brighton isn't that bad because, you know, Brighton are so random. They'll either play amazing or terrible, just depending how they feel on the day. Then moving into the front line, guys, Gakpo played minutes against Manchester City, which means he is ready for the midweek game week 27 played home to Newcastle. And we know how much Arne Slot likes Gakpo. He likes him more than any other Liverpool attacker. So hopefully, Gakpo now being a super differential, he can start for Liverpool and get me some serious points, you know. Maybe for me, it was a blessing that he got injured because now everybody sold him. I stayed patient and kept him, you know. I clearly like keeping players who don't deserve to be kept, so why not keep up that trend? Hopefully Gakpo bags me some goals. Next to him, it gets even better. We've got Mateta, who is still a differential, bagging goals and assists week in, week out without fail. But because he blanks in game week 29 and no one wants to bring him in, I'm like, yeah, fair enough. I'll keep them differential points to myself. He has been keeping up with Chris Wood recently. I thought last game week was going to be the game week where he started getting more than Chris Wood, but obviously Chris Wood is inevitable and he managed to match Mateta on points again. So hopefully this game week is the game week where he outscores Chris Wood, who is playing against Arsenal, the best defence in the league. Chris Wood, please do not score again. Then we got Isak playing away to Liverpool, the hardest possible fixture you could ever have this season. But Isak is the coolest forward in FPL this season, so it's like an immovable object coming up against an unstoppable force, you know. Isak is a lethal striker. The last game week I captained him, I got lucky. He scored a deflection and a penalty. But then again, Salah scored the deflection, so technically I was unlucky as well, so it balances out. Anyway, Isak away to Liverpool. I don't expect a lot. Salah captain, Palmer and Isak, all 3 of them. They don't really affect my team much because the ownership is also high. We're mainly looking at Gakpo, Sarr, Mateta, Kluivert, Mazraoui, and that double Arsenal defence. I think that's a good load of differentials to have in my team. The problem is when you have a lot of decent differentials, or, you know, let's not use the word decent. When you have a lot of differentials, there's a lot of threats as well. Like I said, Chris Wood already, and Mbeumo, Robinson. Rodgers was a high ownership threat, but let's be honest, Rodgers isn't going to do anything against me. But those three, Wood, Mbeumo, Robinson, and even that Nottingham Forest defence, I'm really threatened by those guys. And they're not good players to be threatened by, especially with Mbeumo having an amazing fixture. Well, I say it's amazing. Everton are on pretty good form right now, so I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's definitely something to be worried about. Anyway, guys, I'm hoping this is actually the week where I can do something, where I can head back into the top 100k. That's probably my target for the season right now, unless all of my chips just go absolutely insane and get me so many points. I don't see a much more realistic target, maybe top 50k if I get some really good chip play in there. I did all right with the assistant manager, having Moyes and then Emery, it was all right. Hopefully, with the free hit, the bench boost, and the wild card too, I can get big green arrows, but we'll just have to wait for the future on that one, guys. I'm so indecisive with my chip strategy. I don't even know whether to free hit in game week 29 or take a -8 to field a full 11. You know, I'm just going to have to save my free transfers and decide on the day. Anyway, if you did make it this far, you are greatly appreciated, you know. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, I'll see you guys after game week 27, hopefully on a green arrow.